He's been an academic for decades in American universities. He's taught there, he's done research, he's been at the World Bank for years, he's written books like Fixing Failed States, as well as A Window to a Just World. He's also been the head of the transition in Afghanistan, the transition from coalition troops to Afghan troops. He's been declared the best finance minister in Asia. He's also been declared or voted the second top thinker in the world. Well, now he's the president of Afghanistan, Dr. Ashraf Ghani. Thank you so much for hosting us here at the ARG.
It's a pleasure to see you again. I'm delighted to have an opportunity to speak to you, and through your wonderful channel, to the people of India.
Dr. Ghani, we do know you are a thinker, but now over the last few years, the change has been that those thoughts are being implemented. And what bigger place or what more challenging a place to do that than in Afghanistan, especially since this is the first democratically elected government that has been transferred peacefully.
Afghanistan is uniqueness. We have been a roundabout, meaning a place where ideas, people, goods come and spread. And our relation with India is a million ties that bind. Place names, memories, flows. And now India had the remarkable opportunity after independence to create an enduring democracy, the largest democracy in the world. Appreciate its diversity and create unity. And today, India shapes the world. We in Afghanistan, unfortunately, were victims of our location and of our commitment and patriotism. Now, with this political transition, we are determined to do what we have been denied in the past, namely ensure the continuity of the state, the application of the Constitution that is key to peaceful transfer of authority, and to make power an instrument of service and not an instrument of domination.
Or exclusion.
Or exclusion. So it's an agenda of inclusion in the widest sense. We're inspired by the commitment of our people to equality. The discourse of rule of law, such an important part of Indian constitutional and public discourse, is becoming embodied and embedded in Afghanistan. So it is a unique moment. Simultaneously, it's the worst job on earth.
Let me get to the point again. There is a perception. Now, it's been 7 months since the National Unity Government. Your first visit abroad, it may not have been official, was to Saudi Arabia, then official state visit to China, multilateral fora, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, the US, Central Asia, other countries. 7 months after that, it's India. And if we are so closely tied, there is a perception that India has moved down a rung?
No, on the contrary. We have 5 circles of foreign policy.
Yes.
Our first circle is our neighborhood. And this is from India to Azerbaijan. Our second circle is the circle of Islam. India is the second largest Muslim country on earth. Our fourth circle is Asia. India is shaping the emergence of an Indian continental economy, and it's going to have an enduring impact in shift of the economy from the Atlantic-centered world to Asia. And our fifth circle is circle of donors and investors. India is the 4th largest donor to Afghanistan, for which we express enormous gratitude, but also we are looking at the Indian private sector as a driver of our prosperity. If the visit has been delayed, it was not because of lack of willingness, but opportunities And we say, derayat durustayat. What comes late gets to be perfect.
So you're saying the timeline is not an indication of priority?
No. And besides, I had the pleasure of meeting Prime Minister Modi in SARC. We've really hit it off. We can talk to each other, and we've had telephone conversations, and we've had Indian high-ranking delegations repeatedly. So by no means, Afghanistan, the way we're repositioning it, is going to be a platform for regional and global cooperation, not a place of contentions and a battlefield for proxy wars.
Well, that's interesting. In your view, in the past, currently, do you think there is a proxy war being played out between India and Pakistan in Afghanistan?
It's not India. What it is that there's a conception in the old system that a weak neighbor must be preyed upon, that rupture in authority structure allows for contention. What we must realize now is the state system as we've known it is under attack. So if people want to play short-sighted games, it is going to have medium to long-term devastating consequences.
Who are you referring to here, President?
Everybody. I don't want to name names, but what is important is, regardless of what the past has been, we need to lift our sights and change our game. Cooperation between between states in the region to create regional stability and prosperity is key to the future. Despite India's remarkable progress, we in South Asia are home to the poorest people on earth. That poverty can be eliminated were there regional cooperation. South Asia remains the least integrated economic region on earth. And this, with the people who invented global interaction 3 millennia ago, and continued it, is really something we need to be inspired by our past to carve a future that all of us are beneficiaries.
It should be a win all. Everyone should win instead of being a zero-sum game. But again, just coming back to that perception, why there seems to be a perception that maybe India's fallen off the map, so as to speak. Maybe two governments changing. You said there were lots of other functions that were going on, but there seems to be, again, a perception that you've possibly moderated the Afghan foreign policy in comparison to President Karzai vis-a-vis Pakistan, for reasons that are completely justified.
No, the issue is not, states have continuity of interest. We've existed for 5,000 years.
And you will exist.
We're going to exist for another 5,000. As leader of this country, and as an Afghan, I do not have a sense of insecurity. But we do not want to engage in a passive diplomacy. We want to be actively engaged in shaping the world. India is, like China, like the United States, like the European Union or Germany, not in need of the rest of the world. It can operate at a different club. It is part of the most privileged powers on earth. But India, because of its democratic values, is interested in partnership. And we are interested in forging partnerships that allow us all to benefit.
Sure.
And a country that fits in 4 of our 5 circles is of enormous significance to us. So perceptions need to be moderated, because the package that we are putting is a comprehensive package of relationship Pakistan is a neighbor. We want Pakistan
There seems
to
to be a
be
lot
engaged.
more cooperation, anti-terror cooperation after the Peshawar attacks, for example.
Yes, because Peshawar was heinous. And we match words with deeds. When we say we act against terror, we act. We do not just confine ourselves to rhetoric.
And you expect someone
And
else.
we expect reciprocity.
So is there a time frame on the ground that you're looking at that reciprocity
Ground, time becomes a litmus test in itself. When events get to be shaped in one way, as human beings, we have two ways. Either we wait passively for events to overcome us, or we actively direct the flow. And here is the test this year and in the years to come. Our fundamental issue is that we are emphasizing the need for a twofold peace. A peace, a fundamental peace between Pakistan and Afghanistan, because there has been an undeclared state of hostilities. That must end, because we have diplomatic relationships. We exchange. And in that world, the legitimacy and the sovereignty of each state is the basis of cooperation.
Sure.
It is based on strict reciprocity. The other piece is peace with the Taliban and other groups that have political differences. Those political differences must be resolved politically. And there is no reason for killing innocent people, for engaging in violence. If anything Afghanistan has had enough of, it's destruction. Our blood, the blood of our children, the lives of our babies, of our women, of our ulama, must have value. And today, they're being cheapened. We have not done any threat, posed any threat to anybody.
But do you see any movement on that in terms of how Pakistan can facilitate?
Yes, of course, because first, sanctuary must be denied.
Is it being?
Time will tell. All I'm bringing to you are indicators that peace between states and cooperation between them is measurable.
Yes.
It is not abstraction, it's not air, it's not words, it is deeds. And what we need to all realize, the new form of terrorism is a threat to our prosperity, future prosperity, to our existing security. Without strong regional cooperation,
Nothing.
the phenomena, the threats that we confront are not confined within national
Completely.
boundaries.
Terrorism knows no boundaries.
Terrorism knows no boundary. Terrorists do not carry passports.
And terrorists can hit back at the people who
Or
started.
Or
the whole-
most, when civilian institutions, a bank, a prosecutor's office, a volleyball field,
Yeah, Jalalabad was.
there must be, a sense of decency, a public consciousness. And we, in this part of the world, have demonstrated that we have an enormous sense of justice. Who but Mahatma Gandhi could have thought that a movement to boycott salt would shake an empire? Who would have taken a peaceful protest? Who but Badshah Khan could mobilize red shirts, etc. So we need to understand that we have a wellspring of strength, cultural sources of vitality in peacemaking ways.
I know peacemaking is the cornerstone of what you are trying to achieve, but again, is there some kind of, because of India's hesitation to provide, say, lethal military equipment to you, is that what was called President Karzai's wish list on hold from your side?
No, the past is the past. Mm-hmm. We're engaging in a comprehensive examination and understanding of our mutual interest, and we will act and build upon those mutual interests.